One. We're live. Thank you all for being here on this live stream. We're going to have a little discussion today. All right, before we get into the discussion, I'm going to make sure that the atmosphere is set and ready for your guys' approval and for your liking. Got a lot of things to go over with you all. And we're going to cover why. We are going to cover why being union is always the better choice when it comes to blue collar in general. Now, we're not talking about owner ops, even though I will always stand by the opinion that I think it's better to be union than to be a trucking owner operator. 9 times out of 10, every time. I should say 10 times out of 10 every time, because the fact of the matter is, being a business owner, number one, it's not easy. You are also still at mercy of the economy. If people are not making money, you are not making money. At least not as much. Now, I always laugh when people make videos about me, stating that I'm arrogant, or they say that there's downsides to being union. There's downsides to everything in life. Anything and everything in life. There's downsides to marriage. There's downsides to being union. There's downsides to just anything and everything out here in life. You are not going to get rich off of trucking. I'm sorry, you're not. Most of you will not. Few of you will. Very few. I don't bank on few. I plan my life according to longevity. Not to hopes and dreams, not to gambling, right? Now, I'm a family man, so I'm not too much of a gambler. If you're a family man, gambling should never be your strong suit, and you should never give into it in the hopes of just having fun. You got to take life a little bit more seriously than that. How you make money out here depends on all the moves you make, and those moves being executed at the right time. Because that is truly seizing an opportunity. Success is when opportunity and proper preparation meet one another and mesh. That's what it takes to become rich and successful. And discipline, of course, being disciplined. Just because you take a risk doesn't mean you're going to make it. That's why you see a lot of these success gurus and social media influencers that are already rich tell you to take a chance, but they aren't dissecting your specific personal situation. They're not, right? They're beefing you up. If I was not working, let me read your comment, brother. If you were not working at the company you're working at, would cook a company, would you work for, oh, what company would you work for and what type of trucking would you be doing? Now, that's a fair question, because I do feel for people that aren't able to get union jobs anymore. And we're going to answer this question in 2 segments. What kind of trucking would I be doing if I wasn't trucking where I'm currently at? And the answer to that question is very simple. But like I said, we're going to dissect it. So number 1, I would not be driving a truck if it couldn't be union, is what my heart wants to tell you. Reality, based on all of the other licenses and certifications that I have, if it wasn't truck driving, I would be selling real estate. I would be going over the road with a reputable over-the-road company that's paying me at least 70 cents a mile, because I like being over the road, and at least for a few months out of the year, I could bring my family on the truck with me, you know, for a little bit of the time. But it would be seasonal. I would be flip-flopping back and forth, utilizing my licenses. And a lot of things that owner-operators also do understand, I know owner-operators can agree with what I'm saying here, is even as a company man, you can utilize your licenses in different blue-collar fields. Now understand the title of this video. This is for blue-collar laborers. This is not for owner-operators. This is not for people who own businesses. People who own businesses, you hear them all the time tell you, it's a risk, it's a gamble, be careful. I'm not going to waste my time going over the road or spending time away from my family when I can make $3,000 to $3,500 per week gross at a company and be home virtually every day. Would you? I mean, tell me, am I being arrogant or am I telling you the truth? A lot of my videos, I may come across arrogant to people who wish that they could be in my situation, to people who've made mistakes in their pasts that can't get themselves good, reputable careers. Those are the people who hate on me, my friends. Those are the kinds of people that talk trash about me. Okay? Don't listen to those people. But I would probably be hauling fuel, like a buddy of mine, but he said that fuel has actually slowed down. That's what he told me. But nonetheless, we've obtained all the oil reserves over in Venezuela. All the refineries, the most refineries, the country that holds the most refineries in the United States of America, or in the world, I should say, is the United States of America. The US of A. The only country with the most oil refineries in the world. True or false? Look it up, Google it. So you know I'm not just talking out of my butt. So I'm telling you all right now, my brothers and sisters, if you need to be forced to be non-union, go pull tankers. Aren't you top 5 trucking companies based on pay? No, not top 5. I believe it's like the top 7. But that's on paper. And I want you guys to understand the difference between on paper and what you can actually make, because a contract is where union members make money. You guys might see $32 an hour, Me being educated in the union environment, field, job force, I understand that a contract lays foundation and language that enables an employee to make a lot of money on a weekly basis. Hence, why I say you can make $300 to $3,500 a week. And I've made that. When it's slow, I gross $2,400 to $3,000 to $2,800. The worst I've seen on a bad week, 3 days, is like $2,100 in a week. I want you guys to fight wherever you're at to get a union contract in place when it comes to this trucking community and this trucking game. Otherwise, get out of trucking. Go do something else. Go be a heavy equipment operator. Don't go non-union. I'm experienced as a truck driver, so yeah, I would pull tanks and utilize other licenses that I have that I don't want to disclose on here. You know what I mean, guys? I try to help people as best as I can on here. I'm not here to gloat, toot my horn, make you feel bad. That's not my aim. Now, trucking YouTubers on here are going to use things that I say just to make me sound bad to you, and that's fine. I don't care, because the people that I've spoken to over the last 5 years that have put into play the layout that I presented to them and executed on that layout, they're happy. Okay? That's the truth. So, no matter where you're at in life, if you got a lot of debt, going over the road with a trucking company is probably your best bet if you're in debt. Over the road is the best bet if you're in debt. And I'm talking about 50 plus grand of debt. Even 20, sure, why not? You'll pay off your 20 grand of debt in less than 2 years. You will. But this is God's honest truth and advice for your average blue collar laborer, right? For your American that just, wants to have a good career and not work until the day they die. No, we don't pay for health care. Oh, but I gotta pay dues, $70 a month. What does $70 a month come out to in a year? I'm asking you, how much does that come out to in a year? $70 a month. That's $140 in 2 months. A lot of non-union guys are paying $140 in a week. What do you think that all comes out to in a year? But the union dues I pay are for representation. Being represented and negotiated for through a collective bargaining agreement. Collective bargaining. I mean, the elites conspire against us. They have their own collective bargaining agreement. Cheddar Cash Dollars. Where's our collective bargaining agreement? Why are you guys so set on competition to the point that you will sacrifice coming together for a greater good? You guys have seen these things play out in movies many times before with people that aren't willing to team up and work together, right? For you conspiratorial ones out there. Anyways, I hope this conversation has been productive for you and you've been able to learn something. Mr. By the Mile, signing out. Have a good night, everybody.